I need to mute my computer because we're getting wicked feedback.
Kale's gonna listen in. And I'm gonna start sharing this shit.
What's up, everybody? We are started a few minutes early so we can get all the social media stuff sent out. So we won't be talking to the camera much, or besides mumbles. So forgive us for the next few minutes as we get ready, and then we will entertain you with some soft whispering in your ears. We could do what they call it, AMR. What is it called? Where you talk real soft.
Don't do that,
dude. Those videos creep me out. Like like my soul cringes.
See if I have this camera straightened out. There, that looks better. Dude, the way our cameras are set up, your head looks pretty big, dude.
Oh, I'm also leaning forward.
Oh, what am I doing? Celebrating success. That's what I'm doing, apparently.
That was apropos for what we're going to talk about today.
That's cool in the gang. Okay.
Join the
theater
recording now.
Copy. Wait, you're tweetering it?
Yeah, from Doom Ninja.
Alright. I will retweeter it.
Indie Dev.
Doom Ninja swag. Hey!
Podcast. PC Gaming. Happy Wars.
Losing it, dude.
Android Assault?
Assault Android Cactus. Jeez, it's so commonplace. I can't believe you didn't remember it.
I may be the first person to ever make this a hashtag.
Dude. I need to get Game Maker 2. And start cranking out some tutorials for people. Show them how to do things the wrong way, but have them still do stuff.
I'm an expert on that. Alright, it's out. Twitter is out.
Twitter, Doom Ninja Cast. Ugh. Doom Ninja Cast.
I hurt myself again.
Retweeted it. Boom. Be on our podcast, baby.
We're making a podcast. Making a podcast. Making a podcast.
I'm making people look at the inside of my mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need these other tabs now? Sponsorship.
We got four. Whoa.
What's up?
We got 4 people already. 6 people.
Oh.
Look at this.
Steven. Gonna Geek crew representing. Represent. And of course, Penny. Of course,
the official mother of the show, super fan extraordinaire. All right. Let me pull up so I can see what the dealio, son, and then we can get started.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got good enough show notes now. Dude, I'm curious about this Happy Wars. Why is your text so small on Happy Wars?
I don't know. Let me pull it up.
He said,
I got my headphones on still. Alright guys, thanks for joining and bearing with us as we get all the twittering and all the other fun stuff out of the way. And if I can find my show notes.
When am I gonna come visit?
Who?
Your mom. Penny Joe.
You guys are welcome to come. I mean,
when are you gonna come visit?
December 16th through the 27th.
I need to make money so I can do things like that. Awesome. How cool would that be, dude?
Yeah.
I just go up there and be like, "What's up, super fan?"
Yeah, you dig my mom. She's pretty cool.
Said, "I got a hug right here."
Yeah. And she cooks really good. You like it. All right, so welcome everybody to the Doom Ninja podcast live recording. So this is the part of the show where we say what's up to the people who grace us with their presence to listen before we start recording. So we're going to do a couple games today. We have a kind of a big announcement for us, a milestone. And so we do everything in segments. For those who haven't watched before, we record in segments and we kind of splice those all together for the podcast. So you get to see some of the behind the scenes action on this podcast.
Like what you're seeing right now?
Like what you're seeing right now. You get to see us talk and the goofiness that goes beyond.
You never believe it, but we talk on this podcast. Like between when we're talking, we talk.
We talk. It's crazy. So we
Just
welcome
you.
any comments. If you want to participate in the show, just leave some comments in the Facebook. We try to read them. And yeah. Well, I heard a yell.
Yeah, I didn't test my thingamajig.
No.
Gotta kind of get over. This setup is not the most efficient, but it should be fine. It should be fine.
You ready to begin?
I think so. What are we gonna start with?
I don't know, but geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Boom. That was
Boom. Rep it.
That was for our fellas.
Rep it on
our
the live
brotherhood in the
stream
family.
Said 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I want to start off the show with a kind of a self-congratulatory thing. So we should probably start recording.
All right, give me a sec.
So Ryan,
That's what people tend to do.
we have a pretty big milestone we just hit.
Oh yeah?
So as we mentioned in the last episode, and as you've heard through the pre-roll to the podcast, we've joined the Gonna Geek network. And with that, we've had some new curious listeners who have dove into our deep catalog of now 18 episodes and listened.
They said, let's see if they're really geeky.
And I think we proved
Doom
it.
Ninja? That sounds too serious. There's no
Yeah.
way that's geeky.
So we previously had 108 listens in 1 week was our most. And it just got updated.
And we're pretty happy about that.
We were actually ecstatic with 108. We hit 140.
Boom.
So big jumps. However, we hit a total listen plateau. If you I don't know, plateaus. That means
Don't
the
say
top.
plateau.
Whoa! A total listen milestone of we broke 1,000.
Broke it.
So we have over 1,000 plays across our. This will be our 18th episode. So we have 1,025 right now, which
We're going to look back on this and laugh.
yeah, when it's like 1 million, we're gonna be like, remember we were happy about 1,000.
When it's 1 million and then we're only halfway done with the live recording, we'll be like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But I wanted to say thank you to everyone who listened, everyone who's watched. People have been noticed when we were giddy with 20 listens an episode, we were ecstatic, and we have episodes in the 80s now.
Getting there.
Yeah, so
It's cool watching that people are going back and like starting from the beginning and
Yeah.
listening to a bunch of the older ones.
because if you look us up on SoundCloud, I've added every episode to a playlist also, and that playlist is getting listens. So people are just hitting go and starting at episode 1 and kind of evolving with the show. So I really appreciate it, and it's super cool. So normally when we talk about listens and stats, we like to give a shout out and prove that we're a international podcast. And with that being said, we're going to go with the top 5 countries outside of the United States. The United States is going to be our number 1. But we have 104 listens in the UK. That is 10% of our listens are come from the UK.
104.
Which I was like, that seems crazy. Speaking, we're in Florida. Next would be Canada, then Germany, and then Brazil. Those all have over 20 listens. So they've all listened to... One person's listened to every episode.
Probably.
Or like 2 people have listened to half of our episodes, however you want to do the math. But that's pretty neat. And then some love to the cities. So Winter Haven, Florida, repping with 68 total listens in our career.
Yeah.
That's going to be our friends and family, which is awesome. And then we got Ashburn, Virginia, number 2. Number 3, though, remember, there was 100 out of UK, but 37 out of Manchester, UK.
Strictly Manchester.
Strictly Manchester. And there's a song I want to sing really bad because of the other podcasts we listen to. Then we got Mountain View, California, and rounding out the top, going to be Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So that's some of the other local crew. That's
The
probably some of our
Indienomicon
Indienomicon crew.
By the way, Indienomicon's coming up first Thursday of every month, so it comes up this Thursday, which I really hope I can make it. The way that my job's been working, I don't know. So I want to make it out there.
I want to go this week or this for December's too.
It's a free event. It's at the Melrose Center for those local that would be interested. It's not just game developers. If you're just interested in games at all, you can go. You don't have to be a developer. You can be just somebody who's interested in seeing what it's about because it's a big public place. People show off their games. You can ask them questions. They demo their games. I mean, I've demoed my game there two different times, 2 different games. So it's just a lot of fun. So
yeah, I hope to make it this one. I'd like to point out that our podcast brother Stephen John Drew, he pointed out that he assumes anything UK is the queen herself listening. He thinks she'd be in the Doom Ninja.
I think it probably is her just listening to him multiple times. It's all just her.
Yeah. Or like with the grandkid. Or the great-grandkid, right?
I don't know.
That's how they put the baby to sleep. That's where I'm going with that.
I don't keep up with how many.
You don't know British royalty?
I don't. I'm bad at like world events and history and
it's
stuff.
It's my wife, bro.
I have a very small bubble that I'm in right now. I'm trying to expand it, but right now it's
it's full of death metal like, and gaming.
You could get one of those little dipper bubble things about the size of a dime and just there it is. Whoop. There it is.
Did you really just whoop? There it is.
I did. I went to a 90s party last week, all right?
But so anyway, thanks for all the support, guys. I really appreciate everyone who's even given us just one listen. We don't have delusions of grandeur where we think we're going to get 900 listens and we're going to have 100% growth every week. One listen's enough for us. So thank you everybody who supported us.
Boom. And everybody at the beginning of there, you probably noticed that he clapped. That is to sync our 2 recordings. We have 2 separate recordings of everything that we do. Helps with the sound quality a little bit because there's a lot of reverberation through the room. And just using one microphone or one single recording is just, yeah. I like it this way.
Yeah, it makes for mixing this audio easier for everyone involved later on.
So this is episode 18. We got
I feel like 20 is 20's gonna be during Christmas, isn't it?
I know. Every time we have like a big benchmark thing, we're just gone. Somebody's gone.
Episode 10 we were gone.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's talk about Happy Wars.
Happy Wars, new, open, new, audacity.
And I get to play my own
You get to toot your own horn.
Toot my own horn on this video here.
Don't toot your horn in front of all these people. Well, I guess they can't see beneath your chin.
Whoa.
So. But your horn comes like just about up your chin.
It's supposed to be borderline family friendly.
It's just hornography. I mean, some people,
Wait,
some people like horns.
Alright, record.
Hold on. I got
Hornography might be the title of this episode.
Hornography. Let me. All right.
Ryan, we got a Games for Gold thing with Xbox. So every month, if you're a Game for Gold member, they give you a myriad of games.
What? So it's just a game thing. Is it anything to do with Xbox Live or what?
Yeah, you have to have it's you're paying for Xbox Live.
Okay.
And then they give you 2 Xbox One games, and then you get 2 typically Xbox 360 games that are like retro that they've part of their backwards compatibility.
Okay.
All right. So Xbox a while ago said, "Hey, we're going to bring our 360 library. We're slowly porting it all into the Xbox One to where you just pop your disc in, and it copies the Xbox version 1, or we're giving it to you for free."
Sweet.
So it's kind of cool. So they gave me a game called Happy Wars. It is kind of a really quirky game.
I would imagine with a name like Happy Wars.
And it takes itself very non-seriously. Like the storyline is the King of the Dark, the King of the Dark called the King of the Light's wife ugly, and that starts the whole war.
That's muffed up.
Yeah, that's the whole war. Now this game actually came out in 2012, and they've just recently. It says pre-release on there. They just recently released the version for Xbox One. So that's, I guess, why it says pre-release when you look at the title screen if you have an Xbox One. But it's basically a MOBA, sort of.
Okay.
So you fight PCs, and there's a couple NPCs, and there's these tower areas, and you have to kind of hold the left trigger, and you build a tower. The building the tower is mostly you're there for a couple seconds to prove you've controlled the area. It's more of a, it's not really, there's no skill involved.
Like a capture.
Yeah, it's a cap. Instead of sitting there and waiting for a timer to tick, 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 tick around, you hold the left trigger and you hammer and build a tower. And the more people there, the faster the tower goes up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, the towers act as spawn points for when you die. You don't have to run all the way from your castle all the way up. So they're kind of like a forward base.
Like a checkpoint.
Yep, like a checkpoint. And then you just advance and advance on the screen, and you'll eventually get to their castle, and you have to beat down their door or their front gate, which has a lot of hit points. And once you're inside that front gate, you then have to take out their big tower, which has it's not an easy task.
Gotcha.
So it is a PvP game. The video you guys are seeing now is the tutorial. You know me and my pet peeves about tutorials. I feel they're required often, as long as they're not convoluted. This one actually didn't too bad. Add a little bit of story. They made it lighthearted, but they taught you the basics of the game. You use Y, B, and A are your special moves, and you can cycle through multiple options of what those moves do to kind of build a preferred playstyle. And X is your basic attack. You can always hit X. Everything else has kind of a mana cost to it.
Okay. Do you just naturally regenerate mana?
Yeah. Your AP, I think they refer to it. It does slow you back. It's a blue bar under your health at the top of the screen if you're watching the live show.
So would there be like any pickups that could get you mana quicker? So
Not that I saw. I played the tutorial, and I played 4 co-op matches so far.
All right.
So I haven't seen anything that helps me regain. It is available on Xbox One, Xbox 360, and through Microsoft Windows. It's in the Play Store. So, what do they call? Windows calls their store now. There's a name for it. It might just be store.
Window shopping.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
They need to hire me. Just hire me, Microsoft.
Wait, what?
I don't like Microsoft. No, don't hire me. I've dealt with headaches from your products way too much in my life.
But a company named Toy Logic developed this game, and then Microsoft proper actually helped produce it. Or actually publish it, I should say. So they actually help with distribution and stuff. But Toy Logic, a smaller company, helped or built this whole game. I like the animation. It's kind of it's a very silly kind of graphics. They don't take themselves serious, but that makes it good that they put effort into making it look this way. And it's defined as a action and a tactical role-playing game. So it's like a MOBA in the fact that you have lane that you kind of have to progress. However, you keep your gear. It's not like most MOBAs. Every match you're starting with basic gear, you upgrade it. This, you keep gear and you upgrade, but it's very much a PvP. Once you defeat their castle, the match is over. You get a score and you move on.
So is there? I know you only said you played a few matches. Is there some sort of elo system, or does the gear not scale very harshly?
There is some sort of elo system, because when I first started playing the co-op, it straight said finding people with your skill level, and it took a while. And then as you win, you get points towards a ranking of sorts. And then the cool thing is when you win, the losing team gets put up on poles, like tied up in the air, and they can talk smack. Like, you're encouraged. Like, you can blame your team. You can say, "Oh, I had a bad game," or you can talk smack in a tasteful way. So it very much does not take itself seriously, but I really like the game. It's a good time waster. The Y button is like your ulti. It has some fun moves, but I really enjoyed the game.
So, is there variance between like a class that you can pick? You can be like a barbarian or mage or anything.
There's a warrior, priest, and I want to say it's like a wizard, and they have their own set of skills, and you get 3 versions of them, so you can go different routes with gear. Like, you can build straight tank gear, but you're gonna do less damage, or you can be more of a melee damage dealer hardcore. So it lets you sorry, I switched to the video. It lets you tweak your rolls, and then even within one roll have even more finite. You can be a warrior, and if your team needs you to be a different type of warrior, you can build that way. You have kind of like 3 slots per roll.
So, do you always have to play in matches with other players? Are there any bot matches or
There is
anything
bot
like that?
matches. You can only get so high with bot matches. There's a point where you'll stop getting gear, and you won't proceed in XP. They want you to go do the online multiplayer. They encourage the online interactivity for sure.
Excuse me.
So, I would give this, like we like to do, 1 out of 10. I'd give this a solid 7.5.
Damn, that's pretty good.
It's a game that came out four years ago. The port over at Xbox One is nice, and I got it for free, which makes that always gives me a little love for a game getting it free. But I was pleasantly surprised by the play of the game, and you can screw up really easy. But once you learn to kind of pick your battles and also get out of the way, a lot of people in my first match, I got a ton of kills because people were just like hit. Everyone hit till someone died instead of trying to pick and choose when you strike and when you should run away. So that could be the low elo talking. But I would recommend picking this game up on any of the systems you can get it on. It's a really fun game.
So do you plan on continuing to play it after this?
Yeah, for sure. I've always liked MOBA type games or like any kind of ladder system games because to me the replay value then is unending. Right, I'm competitive by nature.
To those who don't know what a MOBA is, it's massive online battlefield arena or something like that, battle arena, and it's just a lot of players, like real human players, doing a lot of the objectives.
So if you don't know the term, League of Legends is a MOBA. It's probably the most famous of all.
Dota, Defense of the Ancients.
Dota was the first one, arguably.
Yeah, Smite is a pretty popular one now.
Yeah. Shout out to Tina at High Res Studios, who is a developer for Smite. Friend of mine.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out.
Show.
What up, Tina?
Tina. But yeah, check the game out. I highly recommend it. I also have the co-op playthrough, which you're watching if you're watching the live show now, and also the tutorial playthrough on my YouTube channel. So it's YouTube. If you just look under anything with mine, you'll see the link to the YouTube channel, and then you'll see the video.
Yeah, and shoot a message or anything, because he said he's going to keep playing, and it's multiplayer. So if you want to get in on some games, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to.
On Xbox, you can see on the screen, but I'll tell you anyway. It's Nate, Nate, Gray, Grey, 0130 is my gamer tag, and I will happily play games. Last episode I mentioned it, and I got like 8 people hit me up for game requests, including our friend of the show, Colton.
Nice. Nice.
So check out the game.
Boop. Another segment into the books. My friggin' cough is killing me.
It was my eye 2 episodes ago, and now it's
crappy coughs, man. I'm dying.
What I was talking about, my contact like tore and scratched my cornea. I was trying to do a show while prying my eye open so I could see, and it sucked.
Yeah, my sinuses have been destroying me. I'm pretty sure I'm sick. Like my nose has been messed up for so long. I don't know like if I'm sick or not ever because I always feel sick.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, Cactus Assault Monkey Spanker. What is the
Android Cactus?
Dude, this game title is ridiculous.
Cactum. Damn near killed him.
Cactum. Damn near killed him.
All right. Recording.
Brian, you were telling me about a new game you tried out. What was it?
I don't know how new it is.
Well, a game new for you.
Well, new to you, actually.
Okay, that's a better way to say it.
Because you had no idea what even the title of it was.
No, because
you said
Android.
Android.
It's maybe the greatest game ever, but
Cactus. What? It's called Assault Android Cactus. I mean, very plain Jane name for a game. That in itself, you're like, what the heck is Assault Android Cactus? Is it like a cactuar from Final Fantasy? Yeah, it's like an Android version of it. It sounds like something you'd see in like a creature feature. Mega Shark versus Sharknado versus Assault Android Cactus. But actually, Cactus is the name of the main character, which is an android, a little kind of chibi-esque android with guns, basically. It's a twin-stick shooter made by a team called Witch Beam, or a studio. Yeah, you can get it for like $15 on Steam. Well, right now you can get it half off. You can get it for $7.50,
Oh, nice.
which is a great price. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews, and I would give it 1 as well. And you'll see why.
Whoa!
Like I
I'm looking
said,
at the screen right now, and it's insane.
yeah, I'm a big fan of vertical shooters and like side-scrolling run and guns. And this is a twin-stick shooter that feels a lot like the Don Maku style bullet hell stuff. There's a lot of dodging that needs to be done. Only in this there are tons of enemies, and it's like an isometric view. It's like a 3/4 view of what you're doing. There are multiple androids, and like the quirky thing about this game, it's not like you get hit and you lose a life like Contra. You don't get hit and just lose some health. The way that it works is there's a battery, which if you're watching the stream, you can see the battery meter in the top center of the screen. And it slowly drains as you're playing the game. And then you have a health bar on the left, and if your health goes down and you have to get back up by tapping the fire button, it'll take some more of your battery out. Your battery is kind of like a timer. So you want to not get hit because you don't want to drain your battery, and you want to be able to kill things fast enough to not drain your battery out.
Yeah.
Because it takes a certain amount of kills in a wave in order to get a new battery charge.
You'll those kill it. White particles?
The white particles are like a experience type of thing. I believe it makes your main weapon stronger, just by default.
I'm digging the dual orbs shooting with you.
Yeah, that's one of the power-ups. There's a few different power-ups that can drop. The things you'll see that pop up on the ground when you're playing are the green ones, which are battery, what recharges your battery. There's a red one that puts the 2 orbs next to you, and they shoot machine guns for X amount of 20 seconds or something, and you do like tons more damage. There's a blue one that locks down all the enemies on the screen, which that's necessary at points in this game because the screen gets flooded with stuff. Yeah. And there's a yellow one that excuse me, sorry again, that makes you run faster for a short amount of time. And when the power-ups drop,
you just got it.
If anybody has ever played any of the Raiden games, in Raiden, which is a vertical shooter, the power-ups, when they drop, they'll change color. And they'll change to the same cycle of colors. So in this, it turns red, and then yellow, and then blue, and then it cycles back to red. So after a certain amount of time, it'll change to the power-up you need. But after a certain amount of time, it also disappears. So you can kind of make tactical decisions based on that, because there are times where you really need that blue circle thing that stops everything in place. Yeah. Like you just need it. The game is predominantly a wave-based game, but it doesn't show you like, this is wave 1, this is wave 2. You just kind of, everything kind of dies out, and then more things will start climbing up on the screen. There's like a lot of spider-like bosses and stuff like that. There are, not bosses, just regular enemies. There's 5 different, like, biomes, I guess, or just levels. We'll just say levels. Like, from the original Mario 3, like, you go through the map, you're on the next level, there's 5 of those. And you progress through the map, they get harder, and then you hit an end boss for each part. And I don't remember their names, but I know there's, like, a plant lady with a bladey dress. There's a armadillo boss.
Wow.
Oh man, I've said armadillo for so long. I can't not say armadillo. It's like a laser armadillo. That thing's a pain. I went through a lot of these bosses when I replayed it recently, which might have been a mistake, but I really like boss battles. Anyway, there's this like fat thing. I don't even know what it is. It's like a Dr. Robotnik from 2099. And it shoots these spread shots and missiles down from the sky. There's this weird, like, phallic-looking robot thing that turns into the Technodrome, it looks like, from Ninja Turtles. And that's like the last boss. So you gotta imagine, the screen's just full of
just
bullets.
shenanigans.
It's just crazy. And then there's, like, this spider. I know there's a spider boss where he comes from beneath the level. The level's, like, graded. And he shoots up his arms and like puts out these cannons and shoots his butt through the bottom of the level. It's like this drill, and it shoots out a bunch of stuff. It's crazy. The boss battles are pretty epic.
Really?
It's actually really cool. When you go to see the if you go to the Steam page and look at the trailer, it's going to show you a lot of the boss stuff and like tons of enemies. Because the game is just a lot of very frantic, crazy, like what's going on? How do I even get out of this type of thing?
Is it multiplayer?
Oh yeah, I believe it's up to 4 players. I know I've played it 2-player, I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4 player.
So does the enemy scale with players? So
I don't know, because I played it earlier today and it was hard, but I think it's just a hard game in general, because I've played through it from beginning to end before, and today I wanted to get a little refresher because I wanted to talk about it. So I played for about an hour, and I played through all the level 5 stuff, like stage 5, which is the hardest ones, and I managed to get through them, but I did die a couple times, and then I played through all the bosses of the previous ones, and it was hard, but a lot of it is trying to use certain characters in the game, because in this game you're not just one robot, you're not just Cactus. There are 9 different robots, and you unlock them as it progresses.
they have different abilities.
Very different. So, not as much abilities as like guns. They have like 2 separate guns. So Cactus is the main one, and she has a machine gun, and then her secondary is a flamethrower. And it's pretty cool the way the secondary works. The cooldown bar is like it looks like a buffer bar beneath you. It has like little lines, and when you use a move, you spin. You do a spin, which makes you invincible for like a half a second or something like that. So it's used as maneuvering as well. And then you do a big move. So Cactus has a flamethrower, and then you get that for like 2 or 3 seconds. It does a ton of damage. It's shorter range, and then the little buffer bar shows up, and then it'll slowly start ticking away.
Yeah.
And once it ticks all the way away, you'll have your fully powered special move. And I believe you can use it before it ticks fully away, but I think it shortens the duration or something like that.
There's a penalty for that.
Yeah, I think so. So another one of the androids is they have ridiculous names, by the way. Starting with Cactus. Like, who names a robot Cactus? I mean,
prickly.
No offense to, I think that's the name of the guy that made Hotline Miami. I think he goes by Cactus. Cool name, it's fine, but it's just it's really weird for a little robot, like crazy shooter robot. But another one we have is Coral. Coral is an insanely hard play style, but if you're playing multiplayer, you want Coral on your team. So she has like a shotgun. It does a small like area
Cone
in front of it, yeah, and it's not like the spread from Contra. It doesn't shoot like a lot of big bullets. It looks legit like a shotgun blast. You see a bunch of super tiny projectiles, so small you can't see them. You see like a smoke cone, basically. It's very short in front of her. And then she can also set down a plasma field, which makes this giant orb around where you are. It's probably like 10, we'll say 6 characters wide, and anything that walks into it takes damage over time, and it gets kind of like stunned, and bullets can't travel through it. So you gotta imagine, if you have that on your team,
while the people are just doling out damage.
Yeah, that's super cool. But it's very, very hard to play by itself because all your stuff is close range. You really have to be able to position yourself and dodge a lot of stuff because it's got to be in your face.
What's it available on?
I know it's on Steam. I don't know what else it's on right now. You'd have to check. It's probably, I would imagine, to be on Xbox 360 because I played it with a controller. So I'd imagine that it's made to be.
So you see there's 5 levels or 5 worlds or whatever you want to call them. What is total playtime? If I were to buy this today, how many hours would I get out of that?
I got 4 hours out of it, but I think somebody could play through it if they're good enough at the game in like 2. But it's an arcade style game, so
yeah, you can.
It's yeah. I mean, the replayability is more in the difficulty of it and just playing with friends. Since it is wave-based, it feels like there's a procedural element to it. I have no idea if there really is, but it definitely feels like it because there's so many enemies. But by the way, it looks like it's just for Windows, OS X, and Linux, as far as I can tell.
So a couple things I see from the live video I'm curious about. One, I saw chains, which chain together kills.
Mm-hmm.
Does that just give you more point, like a point multiplier?
I believe so, yeah. There is a point system at the end. It gives you a ranking,
like traditional Japanese style,
Devil May Cry type of thing. Yeah,
S,
where it
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, well, I've never seen the S. Although my first time I played, when I came back into it, I got an A, and it was almost S because it shows like this little circle that rotates around your score. It's like D, C, B, A.
Didn't get
it. Nope, it's still an A. So there's that type of I guess leaderboard competitive element to it too, even if you don't want to play with friends. But the real replayability is in the extra androids, the extra characters, because
there's different play styles and different weapon types.
they're all very, very different. Like my favorite one is Starch is the name of it.
Yeah, that white robot.
And it looks like something out of like Aperture Labs. It's really smooth.
From Portal?
Yeah, from Portal.
Yeah.
And her main is like a laser that just does damage over time. It just shoots all the way across the screen, one little tiny beam, and it continuously ticks for damage. And then her secondary is heat-seeking missiles, like just a barrage of them, like you'd see in like
Robotech style.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, it's super cool. One of the funnier ones. There's one of the androids named Peanut, and it looks all hardcore. It has an eye patch and looks like it came out of Mad Max or something. And it has this magma cannon. I call it the Goozer. I don't know. It just seems like it fit. Call it the magma Goozer. And then the secondary move is like this drill that you just rush into him with this drill gun thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely hardcore.
I don't know why that made me think of the laser drill from Unreal Tournament.
Oh, I played Unreal. It's been so long since I played Unreal.
That was the melee weapon you could bounce off the ground with, or you could charge it and run into people, and it would trigger.
Why do I not remember that? That's the first person shooter that I really got into. Like, of course, GoldenEye was fun when it was out. Like, it was fun playing with friends and whatnot. But Unreal was when I really got more interested in it. I remember that.
That was one of my first. I owned my own computer and chose to buy a game.
See, I got it for Dreamcast, and the flak cannon was my jam. That is my jam.
Flak cannon. The only game I ever sniped.
So, for a second, I was like, "You stole it?"
No.
Lingo, man. Oh man, this day and age is getting crazy. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you're into vertical shooters, it feels a lot like a vertical shooter. It is twin stick, but it feels a lot like a vertical shooter. If you're into, I'm not gonna say Diablo. We'll say Gauntlet style games. You played the last Gauntlet?
I haven't played the newest one. We talked about this last. I want to play it.
Sick. You gotta come over and play sometime. I'd be happy to play through it again because it was awesome. But if you're into those types of games, like a third person ISO over top of the head, just a lot of stuff going on, really fast action, arcade style game. It does have a lot of replayability. But if you're just into shooters in general, you got to get this game. Like, we're talking about the rating scale. Now, single player, multiplayer definitely sway a game like this. I feel that it's much better to play with friends. When I go to buy games, multiplayer is like a huge selling point for me. If it doesn't have multiplayer, the chances of me buying it are a lot less.
Especially if it's local multiplayer.
Multiplayer, if you find somebody else who's also into these shooter types of games, this is like a 9. It's way up there. It's really good. The story and I guess like the aesthetics of it you may not like too much. Like I think the colors are cool, but some people aren't really into the small, cartoony,
like chibi kind of robot.
Yeah, 3D style. I mean, I could get how somebody maybe wouldn't be too into that, but the gameplay is amazing for a shooter. If I'm talking about just the single player campaign, I mean, like probably a 7.5. It's still a really good game, but I feel like it's definitely meant to be played with other people. Just because of the difficulty of it also. When I got to the last boss, I did end up beating it on my own, but that's probably where the extra 2 hours came from. In the 4 hours. Yeah, no lie. Because it has multiple phases, and when it gets to the last phase, there's just too much on the screen, and you got to be pinpoint accurate. And I'm playing with a controller. Maybe you can play with mouse and keyboard, because it is on multiple PC platforms. Maybe that's why they made it so difficult, because mouse and keyboard's a lot more precise. Typically. But it was like maddening. Almost like throw the controller down, break it. But I still liked it. It was still fun. It's called Assault Android Cactus.
Sometimes we're both like, I hate this game. Yeah. I'm playing 2 hours later.
But it's Assault Android Cactus. It's currently half off because the Steam sale makes the world half off, basically. You get it for $7.49. Absolutely worth it. It's worth the $15. It's an indie game. Doesn't feel like an indie game. Feels like it's pretty polished. I suggest checking it out.
All right. So you said you got out of Steam library. Check it out. Let us know what you think. You can let us know on Twitter at Doom Ninja Cast. Because of one effing letter, we can't have it say Doom Ninja Podcast because Twitter has to cut it off one short.
We could have been Doom Ninja Oddcast. Why didn't I think about that? We should have just been that.
Dang it.
Well, then we've been a D short. The podcast is already a D short.
Or you can do facebook.com/Doom Ninja Podcast. That one's there. Or go to doombrowski.com.
Yep. Or you can just, I just found out early, if you search Doom Ninja Podcast, boom, we're all over it on Google.
Yeah.
SEO.
Because we tried really hard for that.
Yeah. We put the podcast on the end. You're good to go.
You're there. So check it out. Let us know what you think.
Boom. Shake, shake, shake the room. Okay.
You are full of the 90s hip hop songs right now, huh?
Dude, that party was fun. Dude, you should have went. I know you got a kid, but
yeah. Way to remind me that a kid means I can't have a life. Thanks, buddy.
No, that you have other responsibilities that are more important than 90s parties. Are they not? I mean, I'll throw you right under the bus, bro.
Way to frame that one there, bud. Thanks.
I like how I just named this one AA Cactus. It's just an alcoholic cactus. I can stop drinking.
You sounded like the dude from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You see this flower on my head?
That's actually a pretty good comment.
Oh, man. What do we got going on here?
I guess it's
studio
update.
Got a little studio update.
Yeah, mine's not gonna be very big either.
Did I export this? Happy Wars. It's gonna be a little shorter of an episode this week. It should still be over 30 though. SoundCloud. We could probably by this time start just hammer out a good version of the intro, and just come up with the tagline with it. Just in case you're tired of doing it. I actually kind of like doing it, but...
No, you talking about having a new thing every week?
No. Like, we say the same thing every week for the intro. But it's not necessarily necessary, because we say the same thing except for the last word.
Because that's the part I look forward to, is what's the zany thing we're coming
I was still going to say a zany thing, but I'm saying we don't have to re-record the first thing every single time if you don't want to.
That's true.
But if you want to, you can. I think it's good practice in case we ever do this like
live,
like sitting in front of people.
I don't mind. It's one part we do well. Except for the 14 tries it usually takes me to do it.
No. So, for the people still hanging in there in the live stream, if you're new here, we're going to do the studio update since I am known as Doombrowski. My last name is Dombrowski. It's got an extra O in it. That's my name for my game studio, Doombrowski. I make video games. I have one that's already out called Decimate. I got another one that I'm working on. It's a fighting game, and I've been talking about the progress for that and the progress for the business itself, because I did acquire a business license, LLC. It hasn't made me any money, but it will eventually.
Hey, everyone's got to start somewhere.
It's almost like balanced out by now, which is pretty impressive if you think about it, because I've spent over $500 on stuff related to this. And it's probably getting closer to being a little more balanced. If nothing else, like a lot of the marketing and stuff that I've gotten from certain things feel like they're worth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're worth a good chunk. But we're just going to talk about that for a little bit. Nate also does a little bit of video stuff for YouTube and some game development himself. Well, maybe he still does. I don't know.
We'll talk about that.
He had his dreams shattered by technology. You can listen a few episodes back. Something about
hard drive.
Something about hard drives in the name. Yeah, yeah. You'll learn about it.
Glad you're bringing up the pain of my life.
Hey, gotta have the good to have the bad, or bad to have the good. What is it? The sweet's not as sweet without the sour. Sour Patch Kids are sweet after you suck on them.
Deprived and now delirious?
No, when you suck on a Sour Patch Kid, it becomes sweet. I am tired, dude. I'm turning into tired mode. All right, let's do this. Leroy. The guy I work with has that as one of his ringtones. He has a different ringtone for everybody.
Nice.
It's ridiculous. He really likes Ninja Turtles. Hold on.
So Ryan, what's going on with the studio Doombrowski?
Not a whole lot. I say that a lot and then usually go on this big long tangent about all that I've done. But I really haven't done this much this week because my new job is just taxing. It's physically demanding. I'm not getting much sleep, and I don't have a lot of time to do things. I am, of course, I'm still doing the podcast. I'm still making time for it and the edits. But now when I get off of work, by the time I do the edits and try to do something else, I'm so worn out. Play a little bit of Duelist, but I mean, I don't have time for like a whole lot of stuff. Over the weekend, I did get a little bit done because we had the long weekend, the holiday. I decided, since my game, Suburban Scavengers, the tug-of-war couch fighting game, for those who don't know about it, you're fighting over a garbage couch that somebody threw on the side of the road. It's pretty fun, actually. I'm
Best
not just
narrative 2016 Orlando IX.
That's right. It's award-winning. But I've been working on it for the last 5 months, and it's now to a demo state, so I'm starting to expand on it. And before I started doing a bigger expansion of recreating the artwork, which Kale is helping with, the number one...
Friend of the show?
Yeah, other number one super fan of the show. Until we get that squared away with the style, which we should be getting pretty soon, I'm going to keep putting it into the demo and just allowing people to have free updates. So the first thing I decided to work on, since the holidays are coming up, is I wanted to add a new character. And I thought Santa Claus would be pretty good to see fighting over a couch. And what's more suburban than a mall Santa?
Oh, jeez.
So I've already created the portrait for Mall Santa, which every character has like this hand-painted portrait. Looks pretty detailed. And I also have the sprite laid out for Mall Santa as well. So he has the boots and the furry coat and everything. Big belt. You definitely can tell it's Santa. And he's going to be sliding and elbow dropping and punching people just like everybody else. I will need some assistance from people because I don't yet know what the victory animation for him will be.
Well, are you putting it out to the universe?
I'm asking for suggestions. If no suggestions can be come up with soon enough, he's basically going to get Jenny's victory, but with presents instead of a coffee and a cell phone. He's just going to take some presents out and just throw them on the ground or something. But, I mean, I was thinking of, it'd be a lot of work, but maybe having a reindeer come in or something. Ultimately, I would want something that only required...
Should pop a stogie and then throw his hands up and his belly falls out because it's small Santa.
Well,
too low.
The hands up are already from... Jenny does the hands up. Oh, dang. So I was trying to think of something else. Like maybe give him a Ric Flair walk. I don't know how many people get that, but I like the Ric Flair walk. I'm just trying to think of anything that's festive that would be silly that you think maybe a mall Santa would do. Keep it relatively PG. I don't want to have alcohol or tobacco or anything in my game, just because I want to make it more accessible and I don't want to worry about running into like restrictions if I try to post at certain places. Because Thad would be vaping otherwise. And
what about him sliding out on a chair or on a sleigh out of the garage?
Well, the less I have to make, the better. So, I could make a sleigh, but you have to consider I now have to draw a sleigh, and this is extra work. I'm trying to think of something where I can just animate Santa pretty much by himself. If I did like a present or something, that'd be fine. I was thinking about making him like flick his nose and float away or something, because he goes up the chimney like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I don't want it to be like too crazy intensive. What are you doing? You're like looking at your nipple.
No, I was looking at the Facebook Live.
You're like holding your shirt and like,
oh, I had an itch.
Looking down at the nipple. This guy.
No,
maybe
my phone was in my lap and I was
his
looking.
Nipple.
Whoa, wait, you don't want drugs and alcohol?
Yeah,
but
no, nipples are fine. He's gonna take a pair of scissors out of a gift box and cut nipple holes, and he's gonna go for a jog, because sometimes you need nipple holes in your shirts so they don't get chafed if you're a marathoner. Duh. Nipple holes. I'd have to change his name to Nipple Hole Santa instead of Mall Santa.
By the way, nipple holes, name of the episode.
Nipple holes. It's like where the milk comes from. Ducks? Milk ducts? But that's the idea I have right now. I'm working on Santa Claus. I still have to split them up and put them into Spriter. Even without the victory animation, I can still put them in. I have to recreate the menu system, because when you do the character select, there's only 2 to pick from. And in Versus, you can only just start the game. It doesn't let you pick. Because I don't want you to be able to pick the same person. That means I would have to create a new color scheme for the other one. It's just extra work that's not necessary. Yeah. People can live with playing with one person against another person and not have to get confused because they look exactly the same. So I'm going to have to put in character select for multiplayer. Fix the character select for single player. So for those not too into game development or don't know a whole lot about it, there's a lot that goes into even the little things. In this scenario, I'm trying to add a single character. I already have 2 in the game. And in order to do that, I needed a new portrait art. I need a new character art. I need new sprites for every single attack in the game. Running, sliding, everything you see a character do, I need a new sprite for that. So I have to break the sprites into pieces, put it into my program, export the sprites, make sure everything lines up right, import them into Game Maker, and there's just a lot to even doing a small thing. Clicks. Yeah, even to do something as small as like just put in another character. So, just in case you're interested in that, I keep a development blog of these things too, and you can see more about what I'm working on.
You show what's going on, and
yep, and I plan on making more in-depth posts in the near future, because right now I'm pretty much limited to making 1 post per week just because of the time that I have, and I'm pretty much exhausted overall. So I want to make that one like shine a little more. Yeah. So I'm going to be putting more time into that. So keep an eye out. I do other things other than just my own game development. I'm also interested in other game designs and things like that. I did one that was strictly about narrative, since I won that narrative award, which is kind of a stray from just designing games, not just talking about bugs and things like that. So if you're interested in it, it'll be on doombrowski.com. But yeah, just life is making game development difficult now. So I've only managed to spend maybe 8 hours this last week working on game stuff, which is low for what I'd want to be doing. Yeah. Like when I have weekend mornings available, I used to be working in the regular mornings. I used to get 7.5, 12, like 15 or so hours done, like twice as much. Makes a big difference when you think of the percentages of it. Basically, I need a new job so I can.
Well, you have to work on that game life balance.
Yeah, which is a member of the Gonna Geek network.
See how I slid that in there?
Yeah, I actually really like that podcast, by the way.
I've listened to a few episodes now.
Yeah, we put their little bumper at the beginning of last episode, if you noticed that. That was Cody Gough. He says his name like that sometimes, so I'm going to say it like that. But I said it much shorter than how he says it, because he is a Goliath. He's a large man. His voice is not... His voice is deceptively short because he's a monster. Anyway... That's pretty much all I've been dealing with. I'll let you know when Santa's up. Hopefully by next week. Again, people, Suburban Scavengers is free download right now. You can play with friends. Fight people. Let me know if you want anything added to it. If you're interested in having a keyboard control scheme for it, I can put that in. It's not hard. I just want to get people playing the game and get people voting it up on Greenlight so I can eventually get it on Steam and hopefully make a little bit of income so I don't have to worry so much. And don't have to burn up in the sun doing craptacular electrical work.
Yeah, so we'll put the Greenlight info on the show notes too.
Yeah, and if you just download the game, there's a link straight to the Greenlight in the game. So, there's a screen that comes up. You said press X, go straight to the Greenlight. Really easy to get there. Takes a lot of votes, so spread the word.
Yep. Everyone, please vote. Vote. Thank you.
So I got my own studio stuff with Doombrowski. And Nate, also known as the Ninja Fat Man, has some doings that he dabbles with. What doings are you dabbling with this week?
So, 3 weeks ago, I think, I put up a Twitter poll, kind of inspired by you. What series should I start? Because I honestly own a bunch of game series like BioShock, all of Halo, all of Borderlands, all of these epic series, and I've never played them. I've bought them usually when they do a bundle to get the whole series, and just for whatever reason, I don't start them. Either I'm already busy in another game, or I'm like, this is a huge endeavor.
Isn't it funny how that has come to be? I mean, we're both over 30 years old, so we've been around since gaming was pretty young, and before, it would be unheard of to buy a game and not play it. And now, it's like... I just bought... There's a bundle on itch right now that has over 120 games in it. You can't play all those.
Yeah.
Like, unless you just play them back to back to back, and it's just crazy to think about. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, it's first world gamer problem. Is that a thing? So, that poll said Borderlands. I'd played a little bit of each, but I've never really in-depth played, so... I've been playing a lot of Borderlands. I've been recording it, but then I looked at YouTube. Borderlands been on a while.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, there's 1,000 videos of Borderland playthroughs.
Oh yeah, and there's people hunting legendaries and stuff like that, swapping items out, duping.
I'm still recording, but I'm just kind of cutting out my best of. So some where I went, I can't believe that worked, or like, holy crap! Like other day, I sniped 4 guys, all moving targets, not coming at me. Sometimes they run straight at you, and you're just like,
oh yeah, yeah, that definitely happens in Borderlands. Ah!
But this was like 4 guys crisscrossing because there was like a pathing bug or something, and I pop, and I was like, holy, like, what the hell? And then a couple where it says save your life or whatever, and you have to do the Kiki
Colton.
He threw me off, said he didn't know we were both over 30.
Yeah.
I'm way over 30. I am close to the next decade.
I just crossed the 30 line not long ago. I mean, I'm in there.
I'll be 40 before Trump is up for re-election.
Oh, buddy.
But so I'm gonna put together a best of, and because there's 1,000 games, but I think it'd be cool of me talking about them and going, oh my god, because I put the current edit has me going, holy crap, or self amazement on how well I'm doing. So that's the first thing, and then so that's gonna be up. I almost have the final touches on my best of Titanfall 2 moves.
Man, I've been hearing a lot about Titanfall 2 lately. It is
so good.
Everybody's raving about it. It's getting nutso reviews. Other podcasts I've been listening to, people talking about it, it's like, it's so good.
Well, it really is, and when what I thought was happening is slowly happening. The buzz off Battlefield 1, it's slowing down, right? It's been out long enough. People are like the shiny newness, and then people keep hearing good things about Titanfall. I've converted 5 people at work to buy it and purchase it, especially when it's on sale.
Dude, I'm interested. I'm legit interested in it, and I haven't bought a game, like a new game, in a long time.
And I'm telling you, the campaign mode is amazing, but I could talk about it.
That's what I'm super interested in, is the campaign.
Like, I cried. I legit rolled a tear in the campaign mode.
Did you do a little nipple work too, like you were doing earlier?
That was. But I just took, so with the Xbox, you can say Xbox record that, and it goes back, and this it makes you like amazed every time. It goes back in time and records 30 seconds. So
it's such like a simple little thing. Like it's already keeping an eye on you, like Santa Claus.
Yeah, it knows from now. Yeah. So it's anytime I think I do something cool, or things that are achievement worthy, because you usually get achievement for certain things. Xbox record that. So I had a game the other time. I had to overlap because it was like awesome thing, back to back awesome thing, back to back awesome thing. So it would say game clip recorded, game like overlapping, because it was just I chained together like amazing moves.
Do you know if it deals with that well, with overlapping?
It has no problem.
Does it still show you a 30-second clip, or does it show you like a long clip with those combined?
30 seconds.
So it's just 30 seconds? Okay.
I've never done it more than 3. So I don't know if I assume there's a limit to how much Xbox record that you can do.
I don't know.
Simultaneously.
Maybe it's limited by 5-second buffer or something. I don't know. If anybody knows what the actual limit on that is, I'd be pretty interested. I don't even have like a new Xbox, but that's just interesting from a designer's perspective.
Yeah. So I have the best of Borderlands, the best of Titanfall, and then I put out the Happy War videos. I went ahead. I was going to save them for the podcast, but I figured I didn't do any last week because the holidays we had to go travel like an hour, almost 2 hours for Thanksgiving, plus the cooking. We had to pre-cook stuff. So my whole last week, like after we recorded the podcast, my Wednesday on was just 100 miles an hour doing stuff. So I put up 2 videos for Happy Wars straight to the YouTube channel, so people can check those out, see what check out the game, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, it's not. I've started back on Glimpse.
So... where are we? Where are we, Nathan?
Whoa, Dad. So Glimpse is a game I had an idea for after honestly being inspired by Ryan. It was, you get a flyby of a level. There's obstacles that you have 4 choices are. If you look at an Xbox controller, it's the 4 buttons, so X, Y, B, and A. They either jump, you have to jump, dive, duck, or to play dodgeball.
Yeah. Are there wrenches?
Yeah, there's a wrench.
Okay.
And you get a flyby of the level, and then it cuts back to you, and you have to input the what you saw. So it's quasi Simon Says, quasi video game. So and then the harder it gets, the shorter the flyby gets, and the more obstacles there are. So I played with other formats, but I figured going back to my original idea actually is what I wanted. So I have the obstacle generator is now working, and I've got it to where I can make it variable of how many 1 to 7 obstacles, because after 7 it the human brain typically 7 is a pattern you can remember above that. I just put in the mechanic that makes the endless mode. So my theory is once you go through levels 1 through 5, if you beat 5, level 6 is endless. You just go. And the object would be to, at that point, have some sort of leaderboard for how many obstacles people have successfully gone through.
That's demonic, dude. You said level 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. You made a demon level.
Yep, I made a demon
Illuminati
level.
confirmed.
It's actually a cow level. Diablo 3 reference.
Well,
Diablo 2 riff, and in 3. It's in both. Yeah. So I got the obstacle generator. I got the to make it also variable. I had most of it built last time. I'm now working on just the character movement. It's the very rudimentary, like it's still basic shapes. I don't have any real sprites. I'm more wanting to get the mechanics of the game now.
You have a backup?
Yes, it's on. It's it's on my Google Drive now. So this.
Yes, very smart.
Yeah.
You have internet and you can do those things.
Yeah,
I would love to put all mine on there, but it would take forever. Yeah, I should just do that anyway. To be honest, I have like 4 hard copies, but I should still do that anyway.
Yeah. So I got that. So I'm working on mechanics now. So the X equals this button, Y equals this button. So X is a wall, and you kind of hop over the wall. Y is you jump over an obstacle. A is you dive between two walls, and then X is you slide under. So it's just literally the mechanics of the motions that the sprite goes through, and then eventually, I've also made the storing of the variables, where you hit boom, 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 and then right trigger is the engage, and it executes what you put in. So
kind of like you're playing the ocarina. You ever play those Zelda games?
Yeah.
You put in the ocarina notes, and then it's like if you got it right.
Yeah. So it's the same concept. So
you should make ocarina music with your game.
We talked about making music with it for people with different
like make tones that are within a scale.
Yeah, so you have people with different I don't want to say disabilities, I guess, different play styles you can play. So if people are more auditory, you can play that too. We talked about that before, so that's something I might put in. But that's the major parts. The next part for the game is redoing the flyby. The way I did it before sucked, and after reading forums and stuff, I did it the long, hard, unreliable way versus some significantly easier ways to do it. And then I need to, at that point, start working on our assets of what the obstacles should look like, and then what the dude looks like. And
you should pretty much finish the game before you do anything with art.
Yeah,
I feel most of the time. Like I didn't really do that myself, but I knew I was making a small thing. Don't do as I do. Do as I say.
So I'm probably, I don't know, I'd say I'm 3 weeks out of mechanical development of the game.
Just keep it small, dude.
And so
just keep it small.
Yeah, like
make
I said,
it like a little HTML game or something.
It's once I make the first level, literally everything else is changing like room speed. In essence, it's just changing the variables of how fast things happen. That's to make the harder levels. And then the endless level is actually just removing 2 variables, and it goes on forever.
Does it get progressively harder on that one, though? On the endless one? Or does it just stay the same difficulty?
It would be faster than 5. So the flyby is faster than 5's is, but it's static because there's a point where, in theory, the way it kind of exponentially grows, it would be literally a blink to do 50 obstacles. It'd be
well, if you do a small growth by like a fraction, you could do like a gradual.
Well, it's already pretty quick. Like it's the current settings. 5 is 7 obstacles is I think 1.5 seconds.
I don't know. I'd have to play it.
Yeah,
to really know.
And then 6 it would be I want to say it comes out to like 1.3 seconds of the flyby, and the longer it gets, after so many. My current thoughts are after so many obstacles, it does get a little longer, just because if you can get to 20, it shouldn't be the same 1.3 sec or 1.4 seconds as 7. So there is a growth of the flyby, but it's also supposed to be harder. Because my object is eventually level 6 is the ladder, to where there's a ladder board that says this dude did 27 obstacles.
Yeah, I watched a documentary recently called Man vs. Snake, and it's about a guy that's playing a game called Nibbler, and he played like a marathon game where you just have to keep playing and playing and playing for hours. Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to get people to play it for 53 hours at a time?
For me, it'd be cool to have an online community that, like, they make videos of trying to do level 6. Like, how many obstacles can they go? And the cool thing is, it's randomly generated, so if they die and start over, they can't just have written down the first 20 obstacles, because it's different. Every run is different.
Mm-hmm.
There is some things, there is logic that says you can't have certain obstacles 3 times in a row. Because I found it very difficult to... Any iterations of more than 3 actually was harder to do when you're doing longer modes, because it's easier to switch around than it is to be like, oh crap, how many did I put in, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had to put stuff like that in the Ludum Dare game that I did, because it had like changing colors too. At 4 colors, very similar to like the system you have.
So, but yeah, so that's where I'm at on the game. I have put a lot of work. I've recovered everything I lost.
Good. That was quick, dude.
Well, I knew what I was doing, and it was just retyping stuff I already typed. So I'm actually now in new development.
New development?
Yes, new development, yes. But yeah, I'm in developing code I have not written before, or I'm also to the point of code I have never written before and have to figure out. So it's kind of fun, but it's also scary, because you run stuff and then like, boom, error message. You're like, yeah, I thought that would work.
Yeah.
It never works the first time. The first go around never works.
I see a lot of that. When I was doing bug fixes earlier this week, which I don't think I brought that up, but I did some bug fixes. And I was having crashes, like legit crashes, and I haven't had those in a long time. And I was like, why is it saying that player 2 is not being detected? So I'd fix that object to check for player 2 first, and then another one will randomly come up, player 2 is not detected. I was like, what the hell's going on? Eventually I fixed all of them, punched player 2 vanished. Okay, that's why player 2 is not being detected. So I look into the punch code, and I moved one bracket too far up, and instead of destroying the punch object, it destroyed the player.
Oh, jeez.
So you punch them into non-existence.
Oblivion. Just... Nice. But that's it for me. So I hope right after... It's going to slow down at Christmas, because I'm actually going to my mom's for like 2 weeks.
We're going to keep you updated with episodes, but
so, yeah, we won't miss any episode drops, but there won't be live recordings for 2 weeks probably. But also during that time, I'm not going to have any quiet time, because I have a large family, and when I'm up there, it's going to be all of us up there for Christmas. So there will not be any time for me to get like half hour to like, let's code. It's going to be just nonstop, me and all my siblings doing stuff. So it will slow down for that. But I'm hoping, a couple weeks after Christmas to actually maybe even have a playable version, even if it's just the square going through the obstacles.
I'll play it, dude. I'll be your playtester. I will be your playtester, Nate.
You should get sleep.
Ryan Rike.
So that's
our Glacius.
So that's our studio update for the week.
What are we calling this? We had a name for this. What was it going to be?
Nipple?
Hornography?
Well, at first we said that, but then you said nipple holes, and I thought that worked actually pretty well too. Or at least for the intro. AAA games and nipple holes.
Yeah, because it would be a lot better to read visually hornography than to hear it.
Yes.
Because at first glance, like me and a friend of mine, I believe Nick, we used to, when we were still in high school, we used to say THUCK as a replacement. Thuck. and it sounds just like we used to piss off old people.
Watch your damn mouth.
Like, what? We're just fucking saying fuck.
So everyone who's still on the show, this is the part where we're gonna record the intro, and then we're pretty much done.
Yep. So, if this is your first time and you haven't even listened to the live or the recorded show yet, our intro's a little different every time, and we decided this from the very beginning because we said, okay, we need people to know our names, we need people to know what we do, we need to keep it short and concise, and we need to make it, bounce off each other. So we came up with this intro. I was like, it would be funny if we just put something at the end that was like something that we only talk about in this episode, but seems so out of context that people just be like, what?
Yeah, when you first hear it, you're like, did he just say urinal cake? Or what was it, the best cake of them all, urinal cakes?
Yeah.
And so it adds context and something to listen for.
So we're doing nipple holes for this one, and you'll hear how the read goes. We've been doing this read every time. We have a pre-recorded end, which we need to redo at some point.
Redo the outro.
Yeah.
And we need to probably throw some more Gonna Geek Network in the outro, too.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that tonight. We'll write that in. Let's do that right now. So, what do we have for our outro? Do we even still have the outro here? Yeah, outro. That's it for this week's episode. Let me put it on the next page. Twitter. You can also find me on Patreon. Patreon is the easy way for fans to contribute. Speaking of shoutouts, thanks to my elite patrons, Patty Burnham, Colton Daniels, and Sandra Strickland. I gotta put that one in here, because I got another elite. And it says, Nate, where can they find you? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all under the Ninja Fat Man. You can find our podcast on SoundCloud,
TuneIn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Dubrowski.com. And check out our Facebook page at facebook.com, our Twitter at Doom Ninja Cast. And you want to find us on the Gonna Geek.
Let's put Gonna Geek where it says you can find our podcast. So you can find our podcast on SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Doombrowski.com. We are have our own little segment. We are also part of the Gonna Geek network, and then put like a little plug for Gonna Geek. So let's put that right here. You can also on the Gonna Geek network
at GonnaGeek.com.
I guess that's sufficient enough, because we're gonna have a plug at the beginning,
and then there's an outro one too, right? No,
I think we have some accessibility to it, but I'm still getting the feel for that. So we'll at least have a Gonna Geek intro.
Yeah,
and it does say, for more geeky podcasts, such and such. Maybe if we think of more other extra stuff to plug in later, we'll get that.
Okay.
But I think for right now, you can also find us on the Gonna Geek network at GonnaGeek.com.
Are you saying that part?
SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Doombrowski.com. Doombrowski.com. Let's switch you over. We should probably bounce there.
Okay, so and you want to do the bottom?
Yeah, I suppose. And I'll change this to let's see, you can find our podcast blank. You can also find us on blank. GonnaGeek.com. I guess I'll just leave that. That's fine. And check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/DoomNinjaPodcast. And our Twitter at DoomNinjaCast. Thanks for listening. May your head may be tight and your neck be wonderful. Booyah. Cool. Booyah. So let's do that, since that's going to be the more difficult one, generally.
All right.
Because it's a longer read.
Do the intro first?
Yeah, I got a ton of shit. Let me get this thing. Make sure I got the last one exported. Updates. Dude, no matter what we do, updates will run long.
Yeah.
That's good, though. That's awesome, because that's
the part that talks about us.
Yeah, it's off the top of your head content. Like, we don't have to...
Where are all my recordings?
Study it. Dude, don't tell me that you don't have them, dude.
Where do you see where they're exporting?
Try exporting a new one.
Oh, okay. I must have changed the export folder. What was before saving to my desktop, and I was like, dude, they are not here.
Oh, did it show that the channels were recording correctly this time?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, because last time was a little bit of a pain.
Okay.
I screwed one of them up. All right. So, yeah,
Intro.
live viewers. We're about to do the intro, the outro. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Where's...
Trap.
What?
It's something I hear in a lot of rap songs now.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
trap.
it's trap music. All I hear is those hi-hats. Those super high, tinny hi-hat nipple holes. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Recording. Let me get these creaks out of this chair. Hi, I'm Ryan Dombrowski of game development studio Doombrowski.
And I'm Nathan, YouTuber and rookie game dev, the Ninja Fat Man.
And together we are Doom Ninja.
A podcast about all things gaming, from streaming to development, new games and old AAA to indie games.
And nipple holes.
One take. That was good.
Nipple holes? Alright. Export. Ep 18. Intro. Ryan. That's me.
It's me, Ryan.
Ryan J. Double D. And then the outro, yeah, I'll be much happier when we have another outro recorded. Because the one now, like one part of it, like you almost sounded like half drunk. And then I have like the Patreon thing. Since I had to add another person, it's like 2 different microphone sounds. Like, oh, it's just it makes me cringe. Okay, so we'll start the recording, and we'll give this a shot.
That's it for this week's episode. Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at r_Doombrowski, Facebook at Doombrowski, and on Doombrowski.com. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Doombrowski. Patreon is an easy way for fans to contribute to Doombrowski and all of my related projects, including this very podcast. Fans on Patreon get special rewards, including podcast shoutouts, inside information, free games, and early access to the edited podcasts. I did an in there, so I need to redo that. Sorry. A lot of info there. Maybe I'll trim that down. Yeah, let me trim that down.
Will we stop recording?
Yeah, I just stopped. Sorry.
So there's still 4 people live.
So
Any questions for the show?
I'm going to cut out this.
I know. Our super fans still listening. Mr. Kiki.
Podcast shots or free games. All right, it's still long, but no, we just have to deal with it. All right, Z. Oh, I just paused it because I'm dumb. All right.
That's its.
Hold on.
That's it for this week's episode. Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at r_Doombrowski, at Facebook at Doombrowski, and at Doombrowski.com. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Doombrowski. Fans on Patreon get special rewards, including podcast shoutouts, inside information, free games, and early access to podcast episodes. Special thanks to my elite patrons, Patty Burnham, Colton Daniels, and Sandra Strickland. Nate, where can they find you?
I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all under The Ninja Fat Man, TheNinjaFatman.
You can also find our podcast on SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Doombrowski.com.
You can also find us on the Gonna Geek network at GonnaGeek.com.
And check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/DoomNinjaPodcast and our Twitter at DoomNinjaCast.
Thank you for listening. May your headbands be tight and your XP plentiful.
Booyah. That'll do. That'll do for now.
Worst case, we re-record it next week.
Yeah, F18. Well, I keep doing 28. Dang it. F18. Outro.
All right. So all those who are still tuned in, thank you for listening. We're
May
in
your
the live
headbands be
video now.
tight.
We just said that. And again, big thanks to our Gonna Geek family for jumping in.
Yeah,
and
I'm
listening.
pretty sure that's where the wave came from at the beginning.
I was pretty happy. Actually.
We had almost double-digit viewers.
So check you guys later.
Later.